Now, before I get started in showing you how Lizzy deals with triaging, I want to kind of explain to you what triaging is and why you might want to use it. Triaging is basically the process by which we take a unit in from the customer and we get a mechanic to look at it as soon as possible to go ahead and tell the service manager what it is that we need or what we think we need to be able to do the service that needs to be done. So we're basically trying to preemptively order parts and have everything here so that when the mechanic actually starts working on the thing, we're not having to stop and start while we order parts that he needs. We have everything here ready to go at the day that he starts to work on the unit. So the way that Lizzy processes or deals with these triaging, the first thing is in settings, invoicing defaults, you've got to turn on triaging. You got to tell the system that you're using triaging. Once you do that, you get some additional options on the jobs to be able to determine whether something has been triaged or not. Now, right now I'm on the service list, and this would be where you would start off. I am in viewing all customer units, and I'm basically over in the job status. I've just told it that I want to look at triage not performed. I want to look at everything that we have not done triaging on, and it will give us a list. And at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and we can assign mechanics to do this triaging. We can do this a number of different ways as to how you get it done, but the primary thing is that we need to go to the work order itself to be able to assign information to the job. So what happens here, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to one of these jobs. What happens here is that the system is keeping track of all of the jobs that are on that particular ticket and whether or not they have been triaged. And we're basically after the part numbers. We want to know what parts are going to be required for this particular thing to show up and have the mechanic be ready to work on it when it gets here. So to do that, they're going to give me a list of part numbers that we need to have. And so we're going to go in here and we're just going to add the parts to the service jobs just like we would if they were really working on the parts. The idea is that I either want to allocate the part to this job or I want to go ahead and order the parts that we might not have. Either way, I want to make sure those parts are sitting and ready to go when the mechanic is ready to work on it. Now, eventually, once I'm done putting all of the information that the mechanic has given me, I'm going to edit the job, and up here at the top, we've got triage level. Now, this one happens to already be set, and by default, it's going to come up not reviewed when you're actually looking at it. But we're going to change this thing over to reviewed, can't repaired, or needs approval, and then over here, we can put in the mechanic that actually did the triaging. So just by the mere act of setting this to something other than not reviewed, I've taken it off of my not reviewed list over in the service list. And so my list is getting smaller and smaller as the mechanics are doing their part. And I'm getting the parts and stuff on order immediately instead of waiting for them to actually start working on the unit.